Hi, I'm Kevin, and this video is about avoiding the type 1 trap. As a leader, you know how difficult decision making can be. You make many decisions every day, and many of those are made with little warning or preparation. Most of the decisions that you make affect your success, and they affect other people's work focus and even their lives. One of the many things that complicates our decision making as leaders is that we tend to fall into the trap of type 1 thinking. We treat all decisions as if they are type 1 decisions. A type 1 decision is a forever decision. It is a decision with significant and lasting impact, which is very difficult to reverse. Think of it as a one-way door, a door with a jamb and a very strong return spring. So once you open the door and go through, the door swings shut and is difficult, expensive, and complex to open in order to return through. And most of us treat most decisions as if they were such long-lasting, difficult to reverse type 1 decisions. And so we invest a significant amount of worry and energy in making them. By contrast, a type 2 decision is like a waiter's door in a restaurant. It swings easily and lightly both ways. You can walk through and you can come back with relatively little effort. Type 2 decisions are lighter decisions. They have less weighty consequence. We can be more playful and experimental with them. But just because our brains, your brain, tends to tempt you into the trap of treating most decisions as if they are type 1 decisions, doesn't mean that you have to get caught by this trap. When you're aware of the difference, you can distinguish between type 1 and type 2 decisions fairly quickly. Also, you can break most type 1 decisions down into smaller type 2 chunks with less severe outcomes. So by the end of this video, you'll have more awareness and some tactics to help you sidestep the type 1 trap and activate your more flexible, adaptive decision making. For our first activity, would you please jot down a few times when you have recently made a decision that you worried about afterwards? You found yourself rethinking the decision and wondering, did I make the right decision? And then after you've noted a few of those down, jot down what it was that worried you about each of those decisions. Now have a look at those decisions that you've noted down. How did you frame them at the time so that your brain treated them as if they were more severe than they actually needed to be? And now have a look at which of these decisions were actually type 1 decisions. Which of these decisions were actually permanent, forever, and difficult to reverse decisions? Thank you for reflecting on that. You see, I've got this one simple big idea for you today. You don't have to get decisions right the first time. If you are able to make them into smaller type 2 decisions instead, if you can make these huge decision moments into smaller, reversible, more adaptable decisions, you can make decisions with less stress and in a more playful, authentic way. You can save yourself the worry that you're going to get it wrong. And you can demonstrate the wisdom and humility of being adaptive which is something that really inspires people to follow you and trust your decision making. So let's go into our third activity. Look at each of these decisions on your list. How could you have broken each one down into smaller, less severe chunks so that you or others could make further small decisions later, depending on how this first small chunk turned out? Try to frame your type 2 decision now, your first type 2 decision for each of these big decision points. Try to reframe what your entry point into type 2 decision making could be. Thank you for reviewing your decision making. As leaders, we put ourselves under a lot of pressure to get it right first time, and we don't need to. You can avoid the type 1 trap by looking for type 2 alternatives, and you can teach your people to do the same. Always see how you can make a less severe, more provisional, more temporary decision, and see how that goes. My name is Kevin, and it's been a pleasure to share these thoughts with you. I hope you found the exercises useful. Bye.